My brother is living with me in secret and my mom thinks I'm cheating on my husband. About 2 weeks ago, my F25 sister-in-law, F32, dropped a bombshell on my brother, M29, that their youngest, 5F, might not be his child because she had been sleeping with her ex-boyfriend around the time they got pregnant. He showed up on my doorstep and asked if he could stay with me while he figured this stuff out. I of course said yes and made up the guest room for him. My brother asked if I could keep his situation private while he figures out his next moves and especially not tell our parents. My mom has an incredibly close relationship with my sister-in-law and with how she treated her older sister who divorced her husband after he cheated on her. She doesn't view cheating as something worth divorcing over. Basically the other day, my mom and I were on FaceTime and I was showing her how my keratin garden was coming along. My back was facing the house and during the call, she briefly saw my brother pass by a window without his shirt on. She ended up cutting the call short and left me confused until she called back last night and lectured me on how I was betraying my husband and that marriage is a promise for a lifetime. She said she understood I was lonely but this was not the way to handle things. My husband has been in Canada, we live in the States, since April with his father who is in kidney failure and struggling with other illnesses and is looking like he won't make it past Christmas at this point. He is aware of the situation and aware of not telling my parents anything. Couldn't explain to my mom and tried playing it off that she was just seeing things but she didn't buy it. I told my brother what happened and he's frustrated about it. He asked for a few more days to get his head straight and then he will talk to our parents about it, but knowing him, those few days could turn into weeks. I don't want to spill to my parents but this situation is incredibly uncomfortable. What do I do? Edit, I am currently at work but I am thankful for all the replies and reading through all of them. Edit 2, just want to clarify. I already replied to one commenter but my husband is aware of what my mom thinks is going and why my brother is staying with me. Edit 3, I really am thankful for everyone who has commented. When I get home from work tonight I will be looking into getting mental and legal help for my brother. Also for those asking why I didn't just say it was him visiting, I will be honest and panicked. I was nervous if I mentioned him to our mother, she'd call his home and talk to Sil and find out everything. Considering how much my mom loves my Sil, she'd take her side and try to intervene and guilt my brother into going back to her. I could have been much smarter in that moment. If your mom doesn't think cheating is something to divorce over, let her think what she wants. You told her you're not having an affair, what she chooses to think is up to her. Let your brother have his space. The truth will all come out when he's ready and you can all laugh about it. Isn't it interesting how Op gets a lecture about cheating but apparently mom would be mad at the brother for leaving his cheating wife? Yeah, no one should be giving a fuck what mom thinks. This might end up being a waiting game. It's uncomfortable but if your brother doesn't want your mom to know about his situation yet, and you can't tell her out of respect for your brother, there's not much you can say other than telling your mom that you're not cheating and to trust you. It's not worth coming up with a lie about this. And as long as, like you said, your husband knows what's up, that's all that matters in the end. That way if your mom pulls a sneaky and tells your husband, he will not tell her about your brother and he'll know you're not actually cheating. As long as your husband knows what's going on, I don't think this is a big problem. It will eventually get sorted when your brother makes a decision to deal with this and then you can explain the situation to her. Is your brother waiting for paternity test results? My husband is aware. Called him and told him what happened after my mother accused me. My brother has been too depressed to do a paternity test yet but I am encouraging him to have one done but I think he's scared of the results. He doesn't want to lose his daughter. Just keep it going for a bit. Your bro needs your help and support and he just found out not only was he cheated on but his child might not be his. That sucks. It has been really hard seeing him like this. The only thing getting him out of the guest room is his job. My 27M ex-fiancé 26F cheated on me with my cousin 25M. Now my family want me to forgive him because he's sick with cancer. I am 27, don't have any siblings, but I have a cousin, Kevin, who's 2 years younger than me, and we literally grew up together. I spent a lot of time with my dad's side of the family. Mom is deceased, dad never remarried, he has health issues, and I was there with Kevin most of the time. We did everything together. Fought/played/cried/laughed together. I've always been very close to my grandparents as well, so I was very comfortable being there. When I was engaged to my ex-fiancée, I used to bring her over to my grandparents' house most of the time. Me, and Kevin would spend our time doing things together. I noticed Kevin would try to take part even in personal conversations and try to tag along whenever we went out for dinner. I set some boundaries, but he just kept stomping over them. He changed. He'd try to pick fights with me and claim I'm forgetting about him and prioritizing my ex over him. I didn't know how to deal with this, so I kept my distance. In about 2 months, I found from my aunt about Kevin constantly meeting up with my ex, and she told me she was worried something was going on between Kevin and my ex-fiancée, and she was right. Turned out my ex and Kevin got together, and I was being kept in the dark while I was planning our wedding and handing out invitations. I felt like an absolute idiot. I couldn't handle my anger. I stopped everything and cut contact with Kevin and the family, except dad, because he needed me. It's been over a year now. I heard that Kevin was in and out of the hospital, but I didn't know why, until my aunt reached out to me telling me that Kevin has liver cancer and wasn't handling it well. Drove my dad to visit him once and saw my ex, who's now his girlfriend, there, and I left right away. I kept my distance, and recently, I started getting calls from family members asking, "Did you hear about Kevin?" and telling me the same story. My grandmother called me wanting to arrange for a family dinner on Christmas, and because Kevin got out of the hospital, and wanted me to come, hoping I solve my issues with him, seeing that I may not be able to do it later. But I refused. She told me I needed to have some empathy and let go of the past, because what happened to him was enough for me to let it go. They started pressuring me from all sides. I told my grandparent that I won't sit with my ex-fiancée and the person who wronged me at the same table and pretend to be happy family. They replied that I was resentful, that he's my cousin no matter what happens. It's the same people who allowed my ex into their house after what she did and sided with Kevin and said they only allowed my ex into the house for Kevin's sake, and now demand I get right with him because he clearly deserves more sympathy than I do. I'm deeply hurt, and I can't imagine sitting at the same table with the people who hurt me the most. What should I do at this point? I think everyone is being unfair and refusing or just ignoring what Kevin did to me. It's not fair for your relatives to put you in that situation. You decide what is good for you and don't let them pressure you into it. Him getting cancer does not excuse his actions. Stand your ground. Your hurt is real and valid, and you're allowed to feel it and set boundaries around it. His cancer wasn't some karma for betraying and hurting you. It has nothing to do with his or your ex's despicable behavior and treatment towards you. It is not an apology to you, and OFC does not change your feelings about what happened. You are absolutely not obligated to forgive him just because he has an illness. Your family is absolutely being unfair in dismissing your own feelings. I'm not for this whole "they are dying, please forgive them" stuff. Forgiveness comes from remorse, reconciliation, and working together to get to that point. It doesn't come from "oh, I'm dying, you have to forgive me now." So no, there can be no forgiveness for him destroying your life. He'll be gone soon, and then your problem will be over. I'm sorry, but if you shoot yourself in the foot, doesn't matter if you get cancer, you still have a shot foot. Your cousin chose to screw your finance, and the repercussion of that is he doesn't have a relationship with you, cancer or not. I feel like if you are able to justify it to yourself and be able to live with your own choices, like you not being around your skank cousin and ex-fiancé, then stand your ground. I do the same thing, and frankly, I'd go low contact with the rest of the family that thinks it's cool to minimize my own trauma because he's family. Oh, he's family? Family doesn't screw your fiancé. Me and my wife, 32F and 31M, heard our son, 16M, talking to his BF about his plan to come out to us. what do we do? So we are completely supportive of the LGBT plus community, and we are so happy he feels comfortable enough to tell us and feels safe. But me and my wife have never had any idea he was gay, so it was a surprise when we heard the conversation. And no, we weren't eavesdropping, but he didn't shut his door all the way and was being fairly loud. So my wife thinks we should tell him we know he's gay before he comes out. I think we should let him tell us. So we wanted others' opinions, but we didn't want to share with anyone we know in real life for our son's privacy. And he plans on telling us tomorrow at dinner, so Friday at dinner, so we don't have much time to make a decision. It just got off work and I'm amazed by all the replies. Thank you guys so much. Sadly I can't respond to all of you, so I'd like to thank you all here. But he hasn't told us yet. And to answer a question I've been asked, yes, we had him as teenagers, and I wouldn't change that for the world. Also, me and the wife are planning on making his favorite dinner tonight. That way it's just kind of like a cherry on top, I guess. It will sort of celebrate it but also hopefully make him more open maybe. We think it's a really good idea. Actual by teen here, let him tell you. It takes a lot of bravery to come out to your parents. And it always sucks when they say stuff like, oh, we already knew honey. Plus, it's better when someone does it on their own terms. Let him do it. It will mean more to him. Just express how happy you guys are and how you support him no matter what. Definitely let him tell you. Even if you are super LGBT plus friendly, coming out is still a huge deal and you don't want to force him into doing it. If you are truly supportive of the community, he knows, and that's probably why he feels ready to tell you. So give him space to make that choice on his own. I definitely think saying you had no idea is okay, and maybe later on telling him you heard him or not. It's really up to how close of a relationships y'all have. Let him tell you. Let him tell you. Affirm him and thank him for trusting you enough to share with you when he does. Do not, under any circumstances, say oh we knew in any way, shape, or form. While it may be true, it's a dismissive and disheartening response. / a fellow queer who would have a heart attack if someone tried to out me before I could come out to them.